Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you are watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks with another brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer? You already know what time it is, and joining me today is somebody special. You know, this is somebody who I had met in the NecoCon group back when I was going to my second NecoCon. Was it my second? No, it was my third NecoCon, and that is Ruby Rose Cosplay. Ruby, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Hey, I am doing phenomenal. You know, your boy, he just finished working out. And then, you know, when it comes to doing Who's That Cosplayer and just interviewing you guys, and then, of course, interviewing a friend, somebody that I've known for years, you know, I'm hyped right now. I don't get hyped. I stay hyped, you know, like my boy Mojo Raleigh would say. So, yeah, thank you so much for joining me up here, man. I really appreciate you coming up here. Hey, I see that you got the scythe in the background, and you know I don't want to make you mad.
Oh, it's not just that. I also got license plate here too.
Oh, see, I don't want to make you mad.
Like because... it's on the way.
Yep. So before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And as D always says, podcast link down below in the description. Like, follow, subscribe. So let's go ahead and get into this interview. So Ruby, one of the first questions that I always ask every single guest on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks is, what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has one. So tell everybody who you are.
Well, the question is, are we talking about character or my actual self?
Your actual self. Like who you are and what led to you getting into cosplay.
So for me, I've been cosplaying basically ever since around 10 or 11-ish. It started in middle school. My friends, they were all huge anime fans, and same with my aunt. And they basically were the reason why I got into it. Eventually, during high school, they had an anime club, which I became the vice president of.
Nice.
And there just was different cons that I would go to. KotoriCon, Anime Next, and eventually it led me to coming to different places and states and whatnot to join different cons.
That's awesome. You know, when I was in high school, I wish that we had an anime club. I mean, it's like when I was in school, you know, anime was still considered like a bad thing. If you were a nerd, it was a nerd thing and whatnot. A lot of people weren't really into it. And then when you did find people that were into it, it's like you kind of banded together, but there was no anime club. And yeah, I think it's awesome that when you were going to school, it's just like you met a group of people, y'all became friends and whatnot. And like, that's how you got into anime. And eventually it led into you getting into cosplay. So I want to ask you, what was the first costume that you wore when you went to your first convention?
My first cosplay that I probably did would have been Len Kazum and not CL Phantom Month.
Nice. And like, how was it going to your first con?
My first convention was KotoriCon in New Jersey, and it's one of those small little college, high school ones, and it was amazing. I'm not going to lie, I enjoyed every time and second of it, and as you can tell, it led me to even bigger cons now. So
exactly, and see, and like that's what I was about to bring up next. You know, you went to that con, it was a small con. Now, you know, I hear this from some cosplayers where it's just like, you know, they go to a smaller convention and it helps them prepare for the bigger ones because, you know, when you go to these bigger cons, it's just like sometimes it can be overwhelming, but when you go to the small one to get your feet wet first, it's like you get that first con experience. It's like, you know, like this is what's going to go down at a con, the panels and all that stuff. But then you go to the big ones. Were you nervous when you went to your first con, or were you nervous when you went to your first big con?
No, I was really, really excited. Now for the big cons, because me, I'm a shy person, so I don't like being in large crowds. And if I'm alone with nobody around, I get very, very nervous and shaking. So the bigger cons, I still get nervous with, but when I'm with friends or if I meet somebody or find a group that I like to hang out with, I'm perfectly fine. And I enjoy it like no tomorrow.
That's all. And you know, I love going to the big cons too. I've gone to smaller cons. I mean, like I feel like you know, with myself, just being in big environments, I feel like I've been that way my entire life, you know, growing up playing sports, being a professional wrestler. So it's like I'm used to being in these these places where there's going to be a lot of people there. But I can understand, like, being at a con by yourself, not knowing anybody, and just not knowing what direction you want to go in, because there's so much to do at a con. There's people cosplaying, there's the cosplay contest, there's the panels, the voice actors. So I want to ask you now, like,
exhibit halls, yeah.
what have been some of your favorite moments from going to conventions over the years?
My most favorite moments, Anime Next, they had, like the chapter slide and all that sort of music playing. They had somebody playing those, and I would literally chime in, dance with the group. Tidewater Con, which I'm hoping they'll do again. They did the Chunga line, and I was a part of that, which you might find in the background.
I remember seeing that. Yeah, I've seen that line before.
I was in that, one of the first people to start it. Then upstairs, we were flipping one of the shields around, and it would land on like 2 certain people's, then we would start like a little sword fight and all that sort in the hallway. So it's just fun little moments like that I enjoy.
No, and I feel like, when it comes to going to conventions, and like how you were saying earlier, it's just like, sometimes if you're by yourself, you get nervous because you don't know anybody. One of the things that I love is just going to a convention, cosplaying as one of your favorite characters, and then like people come up to you, they give you, mad respect for, whoever you're cosplaying as, they want to take a photo and whatnot. And then it's like you meet people at these cons, and then you have these friendships that, start because you meet them at the con. And then now you have a tag partner, y'all can do cosplays together and whatnot. And that's one of the things that I love. What was that?
Galaxy Con. Not trying to rip you off, Galaxy Con. Like I said again, I did RWBY, and I was handing out roses to everyone. So now I sent a message back in there trying to find out everybody that kept them. And there would be people who would reply and be like, yeah, I still got it, or something like that. And it's just that small connection that we all share.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. Now, I want to ask you now, because I see in a lot of the cosplays that you've done, you have props like the scythe that's behind you right now, the sword. Like, did you make those yourself?
Oh, no, Sally. I'm not experienced when it comes to that, Sally.
Well, is that something that you would like to, get into? Because it's like,
I would love to. Like, I know when I was in the anime club, they also had a sewing club, and I would try and participate in that. Like, I had a friend who was really good at making the anime cosplays, and she actually made my Levi Arkman jacket.
Nice.
And I was trying to help her with that, but again, I'm not the best at it, so.
Yeah, no, I feel like, because like I interviewed Dark Wave Surf's Cosplay, and that was one of the things they were saying, is that they weren't good at sewing, but they were
good with props.
Making the props and whatnot. And it's like, I would love to, take a class at one of the cons, which I think is awesome that they do have those classes there to show you how to sew and to show you how to make weapons and all that stuff. Because I feel like if you can make something yourself, it becomes a little bit more cheaper than, having to shell out so much money when it comes to getting cosplays and stuff like that. Now, have there been any cosplays that you've done over the years that you made yourself or put together? I know sometimes people, they can put closet cosplays together and then pretty much become the character, or is it just go straight to?
I was gonna say, Nagi says I originally did a closet cosplay before I actually bought the outfit, but besides that, no, not really at the moment.
Well, now let me ask you, if there was an outfit that you could make yourself, you take the class and whatnot, and this is something that you really want to make, and it's just like, this is my big project, what would that outfit be?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Thank you. Hey, that's what
honestly, I do. I'm not fully sure, not gonna lie.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, what about a weapon prop? If there was a prop that you could make?
It would probably be one of the weapons from Bleach.
Okay. All right. Well, since we're talking about Bleach, is Bleach one of your favorite anime series? I mean,
Oh
I
yes.
know you got the Ruby stuff, but yeah, go ahead.
I actually have Renji Ivorai sword as well as Rukia's downstairs. So yes it is.
Nice. So are you excited about the series coming back this October?
Yes.
Who's your favorite character? I'm pretty sure it's Renji because you said yes.
Toshido Hitsugaya.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Bleach coming back. I definitely want to watch the series and catch up on everything. Of course, I want to skip all the filler because, thank God I don't have to sit through the filler because
Oh my god, I agree.
it's like when Bleach was popular when it first came out over here in the States. And it had got to it was still in Soul Society arc, but back in the day, we would go on YouTube, we would watch the videos like video 2 of 200, and I had got to the Bount arc, and I was just like, man, what am I watching? Like it was just so bad, and it sucked because out of the big three, Bleach was my favorite because I love the music, I love the action. Ichigo, I thought he was a badass and whatnot, and
exactly.
It just sucks that the filler. I know One Piece doesn't really have a lot of filler, but between Bleach and Naruto, I would probably say Bleach has the worst filler compared to Naruto. But
Probably.
I want to ask you now: did you watch the live action Bleach movie? And if you did, how did you feel about it?
No, Sally. I'm sorry. I haven't yet.
Hey, you're fine. You're not missing anything. It's like my co-host Trav. He hadn't watched the Bleach movie yet, and I had watched it before him. And I remember I had hit him up, and I was just like, "Man, the Bleach movie was bad." And he was like, "I know if you're saying the movie is bad because you usually say everything
bad.
is bad."
Yeah.
It's just I don't know, man. I was expecting a lot more. I didn't like how they changed certain things, like remember, Ichigo, he had already fought Grand Fisher early on, and then he ends up meeting Byakuya and Renji after that. But in the movie, it's like Renji and Byakuya, they show up and they come to get Rukia, and Ichigo is just like, no, Rukia needs to stay here. Let's make a deal. If I beat Grand Fisher, then y'all have to leave her alone. And Byakuya was just like, fine, you have one day. I'm just like, why? 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 What was the point of changing that up? I wasn't a fan of it. But no, I'm looking forward to Bleach when it comes back out, and hopefully it comes back with a kick-ass opening, because when it comes to anime openings, Bleach has the best ones. Which one was your favorite from the show?
Ooh, not gonna lie, I definitely like the first opening.
Yes,
my opinion. So.
Yeah, no, I love the first one, and I also love the second one. When I was in high school, and I was a young Benjamin Banks, and I was a bad Benjamin Banks too, because I used to steal my mom's car. And me and Rebellious D, it's funny because he's rebellious. We used to be driving around listening to Bleach music, cranking it up, driving up to the high school and whatnot.
Sounds like me and my friends.
It was, those were good times, man. It was just something about, being in the car blasting anime music. I mean, I still do it now.
I was gonna say, we used to. It would be like 10 of us all up in one of my friends' Broncos, and we'd drive around at midnight, just jamming to anime music or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not about anything.
Yeah, I mean, and then it's fun, just singing the songs. I like the meme where it's just you're singing the anime theme song, thinking that you're actually singing the lyrics, but you're summoning a demon because you're mispronouncing.
Who's that cosplayer?
Corona Roses.
So I want to ask you now, because you cosplayed a lot of characters over the years. What have been some of your favorites that you've done?
Nagisa, my Halloween outfit, which a lot of people have fun staring at me and complimented me on. Ruby's definitely one of my favorites, and probably Maka Auburn.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, like, and just looking at them, like when I was putting the slideshow together, it's just like the costumes that you've done, like they're amazing. And like just seeing your growth.
I was
And
gonna say I'm over 100
yeah.
cosplays, so yeah, I'm
Yeah,
bad.
like when you had told me that, and see, your boy Benjamin Banks, I love doing my research on you guys because it's like
Mhm.
we're friends on Facebook, and I was looking through your photos, and it's just like you had told me, you was just like, yeah, I've done, this many costumes and whatnot, and I'm just like, I don't see
Yeah,
them up
there's not
here.
many on Facebook. They're more on my Instagram.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, your boy went searching. I went high and I went low and I found everything. And that's why you see everything in the slideshow right now. But yeah, like your growth as a cosplayer, from when you first started to where you are right now. I mean, like just even seeing the
It's
process.
definitely changed. Yes.
Yeah, and you leveled up. Like that's the reason why this is the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast, because every day we are always leveling up. So, now I want to ask you, what are some of your favorite hobbies that you are into when you're not cosplaying?
Well, for starters, I don't ever stop cosplaying. I cosplay basically every day.
Nice.
So, I do love drawing. Singing's another one of my favorites. And then, of course, hanging with my friends. But other than that, I basically just walk around and hang, chill with people, probably
Nice.
read. Hmm.
So, you said that you love to sing. Whenever they have like these, cosplay karaoke's at the cons, do you ever participate
Yeah,
in those?
I've done a few before. Yeah.
Nice. Like I've always wanted to go to one of those. So like when you do the karaoke, is it the English version of a song, or is it just like, oh, you can
Um,
sing whatever song you want to sing?
I've
You're
act-
just
yeah, I was going to say I've actually sang whatever I wanted to sing. Um, I've also last NecoCon, while we were waiting, I was one of the only last few people there. We were standing out in front of the front door, and I was just over there singing, and people were listening and watching and enjoying it. So, and that
nice.
was in Japanese.
Oh, nice. Also, so are you fluent in Japanese?
Not fully. No.
Hey, I mean, I think that
I was
it's
gonna say
awesome.
I at least know how to introduce myself in Japanese and maybe tell you my age and my school years and all that sort. But that's about it.
Yeah, hey, I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to Japanese, I only know Nani, and because I'm a huge JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fan, I know Yari Yardaza, Kono Dioda. Like I know that stuff, but yeah, I wish when I was in high school that they were teaching Japanese classes, because I know like once I graduated, they started teaching those classes, and I'm just like,
I
man,
was gonna say that's the thing that sucks for me because again, like I said, I did 3 years in New Jersey. So my last year, I moved here, and they had Japanese classes, and I was only able to take 1 year. So
see, and like that, it's always once you leave. I know, and I'm showing my age here, but when I was in elementary school, of course, you're supposed to just be in school and that's it. And I remember, like
yeah,
after I moved to the 6th grade, my brother, he was still going to the same elementary school that I had once went to. And one day we went
yeah.
up there and we saw that they had PlayStations, the original PlayStation, in their classroom. And just like, how did y'all get PlayStations in y'all like y'all supposed to be learning? Like, what do y'all need
I was gonna
PlayStation?
say, like, I know for me, like, they upgraded from the little tiny box televisions to now these really good, decent ones and all that sort too. And it's like, how?
Yeah, like where was
What
all
happened
this
to the
cool?
past life?
Yeah, like where was all this cool stuff at when I was in school? Like, dang, I wish I could have had it, man.
Exactly.
But I want to ask you now,
Hmm.
what is an anime that you would consider to be underrated?
Ooh, probably Ancient Mage's Bride, in my opinion.
Hmm. All right, see now I've never heard about that one. So, and if my viewers haven't heard about this one, like tell everybody what's it about.
Good question. Um, Me trying to explain things, I'm not the best of. So, how do I explain this? So there's basically cosplay girl. Her name is Chise. She gets adopted by this weird, odd skull-looking creature. Trying to remember his name off the top of my head.
Is it Michael?
No. But he basically takes her in and tries to teach her magic and all this sort. And eventually they start falling for each other. And soon enough, they become a couple and all that. Near the end. To put it short and simple. And it's
no spoilers.
So sad to me that I can't remember his name. And what's funny is I had the manga over here too, but I'm too lazy to go get it.
No, it's cool. I mean, it sounds interesting, and like that's the reason why I love asking this question, because there are so many series that are out there that people might not know about, and if anybody that's watching, if they can, find out about something new and then check it out, then by all means check it out, because it's just like you might fall in love. I mean, like I always recommend Great Pretender to people because a lot of people don't know about the Great Pretender. It's on Netflix, and we interviewed the main cast from the Great Pretender, and all of those interviews are here on YouTube, or you can listen to it on the podcast, either or. But another one is Carol.
I remembered his name now.
Go ahead. What
his name was Elias.
Elias?
Yeah.
Just like the wrestler. Who wants to walk with Elias? But now I want to ask you, what would you consider to be how do I want to ask this question, because I want to make sure that I ask it the right way. But what would you consider to be one of the most overrated things that you have ever seen at a convention before? And if y'all get mad, I didn't answer this question.
I'm sorry, but no offense, it would probably be My Hero Academia or Demon Slayer. No offense, I still love My Hero and Demon Slayer, you guys. It's just I see them a lot, okay?
I gotta hear. I mean, like you see, I got Deku right there. I got Deku watching down. I got a whole.
Because I cosplay Todoroki and Eri, so.
I get it. I mean, I know that because My Hero Academia is starting to come to an end, and Demon Slayer the anime is one of the biggest animes in the world right now, so it's kind of taken over from where My Hero Academia first started at. But I've heard stories about My Hero Academia cosplayers. Like some of them have been crazy. Now your boy cosplays as Deku. I'm not crazy or insane, but I've heard stories of like how little kids will act as these My Hero Academia characters, and now they're doing it with the Demon Slayer characters as well. But
like I said, I still cosplay them. Like I cosplay Tanjiro, I cosplay Todoroki and Eri, so I know I admit it, I'm bad, but
well, look, if you're, we're going to Tidewater Comic Con. Are you going to be cosplaying this area at Tidewater Comic Con?
Sadly, no. I'm gonna be doing full on Ruby or Oscar for Tidewater.
Okay, all right. Because if you were Eri, your boy is going to be Deku, and then I could carry you on my back, and I'd be like, I'll protect you, Eri. You have nothing to worry about. And then you could have been crying on my shoulders, and then the tears will be falling down, and then I'd be like, one for all, 100%. And hey, I love that. I love My Hero Academia. So
well, I suppose maybe I could slip it in. The only thing that I won't have will be the horde for Eri, but
hey, I'll put you on my back. I'll carry you, because that's what Deku does. Because if I can't save the one girl behind me, how can I be a hero who saves everyone? I love that line.
Exactly. Thank you. My line.
Yeah, I love. That Deku catching Eri, giving her hope again. Lemillion giving her hope, and then that music that was playing, like, that made your boy cry. It's not too many times I've watched an anime and I've cried, but that's one of my favorite scenes in My Hero Academia, and like that's the reason why I love it so much. So now I want to ask you, what are some future conventions that you're hoping to go to? And also, what are some future cosplays that you're hoping to debut at these conventions that you go to?
I do know that from what I'm being told, I'm not fully sure yet, but I might be moving to North Carolina, if not California.
Mhm.
So I'm honestly trying to search in between those areas for different conventions. And then I know that I have a friend of mine. She goes by the name of Karma on Facebook, but her and I have been planning all this time to try and meet up. And originally we were going to go visit Lindsay, Nagisa's voice actor, which again I found at GalaxyCon. So
Nice.
I made sure to call her up for that so she can meet her in person, but she still wants to meet her in actual person. So we're still trying to find a way to do that. But different cosplays that I would like to do in the future. I know that I want to retry and do Venti from Genshin Impact. I'm a huge Owl House fan, and my friends and I, we were trying to do the different characters for that, and I got chosen as Ida's, so that's another one on my list to do eventually.
Nice.
But other than that, I'm not fully sure yet.
Yeah, well, I will tell you, if you know, when you go to North Carolina, you know, check out you have Greenville Comic-Con, you have Fayetteville Comic-Con and Amazement, you have Ichiban Con. Like, there's a lot of cons in North Carolina. I want to say there's more cons in North Carolina than we have here in our area. You know, we have NecoCon, we have Tidewater, you know, now we have Superstar Anime, you have GalaxyCon up in Richmond. And I feel like those are like the only.
Yeah, I've been to all of them, so.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, you know, you do have some of the smaller ones, but, you know, because of the pandemic and whatnot, we didn't have those. So, you know, that brings me to my final question that I have for you. You know, because of the pandemic and, you know, with there not being any cons here in the area, like, what was it that you did to hold yourself over so that way that you would continue cosplaying and, you know, just keep that spirit alive? Because, you know, some people, because there weren't any cons, like, they kind of lost interest in cosplaying and stuff like that, and they just kind of moved on with their life. So what was it that you did so that
I know for me, my experience with the pandemic was really, really crappy, not gonna lie. So it started off with me. I've been having upper chest pains and back pains to the point that I've been to the hospital like 6 times, and patient first about 6 or 7 times, to the point that they couldn't help me anymore. So it started off with me finding a little girl named Natalie. She found out that she was a huge Nagisa fan because I was cosplaying Nagisa the day that I met her. And she was having some kind of situation where she couldn't swallow, so I decided to give her the Nagisa plushie that I had bought at NecoCon. So the one behind me now, my ex had given me as a gift, and I got it signed from Lindsay. So that's one huge thing that I cosplay for. Then it went to my grandparents passing away. So Nagisa is the main reason why I cosplay for my grandfather, and Ruby is the main reason why I cosplay for my grandmother.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I was going to say, most of my cosplays I basically do to resemble people who passed away or to help people in need, to just perk up and make them cheer again. So.
I love that. I mean, because it's like you're spreading, you know, love and positivity through your cosplay to help others. And like, you know, like Deku says, that's what heroes do. And I give you a pinky up for that, because that's really awesome. And that's very nice that you do that. So
I was going to say, I literally cosplay around the mall basically once or twice a week. I go to the oceanfront, bring President Rose there, and people literally remember me by just walking around.
That's awesome, man.
And
I mean,
same goes for Red Wing.
Yeah, and I've seen like a lot of your photos. It's like that's like your
that's that Red Wing park
area. Yeah, and it's a nice park too, especially when they have the cherry blossoms there. Like it's really nice.
Indeed.
So with that being said, we're here at the end of the interview. Thank you so much for joining me, Ruby. It was awesome chatting with you. And before I let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
Good question. Of course, I'm on Facebook. My name there is Sabrina Spellman. Hopefully, you'll be able to find me, because some people don't. think you got me on Instagram as Ruby Rose, and then it'd be Ruby Rose in Japanese for the ending part. And then I'm also on Twitter as Nagisa Shoyota. So wherever you want.
Awesome. Hey, and y'all already know where you can find me, your hero Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again, Ruby, for joining me. Thank you, everybody, for watching the interview. Yeah, hey, you are awesome. And just like all of my guests, all of you guys are awesome. Hey, we just celebrated the 1-year anniversary of Who's That Cosplayer. So, Ruby, thank you so much for coming up here and joining me. And like I always say, check out all of our interviews that we have here on the channel. Check out our reaction videos, our reviews. Make sure you check out our podcast, where the link is down below in the description, where we have brand new episodes every Tuesday. And then the video of that episode is up here on YouTube on Friday. So like I always say, keep that pinky up, stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
You sure it's not at Tidewater Con?
Well, I mean, you'll see me at Tidewater Con, but everybody else will see me here in YouTube land. So I'll see y'all soon. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.